Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Task Force Admiral, our Let's Play of the new real-time World War II war game. We are playing the Battle of Midway in this early access game, and we're playing the hard scenario where the Japanese scouts go out on time and report back promptly, so our fleet is probably about to be attacked by considerable Japanese forces. We are trying to get our planes all off our carriers to launch strikes on some Japanese carriers, which we have just detected. And so we're hoping to get our planes off so that we can fight them. But we do have enemy aircraft that are also incoming on us. There are also aircraft incoming on the Japanese from Midway. So that's the situation we find ourselves in. Yorktown is kind of out front. There's two carrier groups. Yorktown's closer to the enemy. I assume Yorktown will take the brunt of any enemy attack, but in keeping with this scenario, the enemy also had, they launched their, many aircraft toward Midway, but they retained about half their air wing on the carrier in the event that they ran into American carriers, and that's what we're going to see right now. But you can see we're getting the deck ready on the Yorktown to try and get these aircraft off so that we can effectively intercept the enemy aircraft, which will be coming inbound on us shortly. But that's where we find ourselves picking up. I'm going to turn myself back over to live stream, and I hope you guys enjoy. All right, these guys are definitely diving to attack. We've already issued all the orders we can. Oh, there's the carrier. Are we going to, turn and drop a torpedo on, an absurd angle? I hope they patch that, because usually the way... I don't know why we're diving or, that close to the carrier, unless we're going for maybe the carrier over here. To the northeast. Usually, for whatever reason, the game decides you want to pass your target first and then turn back on them and drop. I don't know enough about torpedo doctrine in the era to know if that's what you're gonna do, but... Alright, so we got a flight of 3 Avengers. What are you doing? Oh, there's another carrier over here. I guess that's who we're dropping on. Hey, maybe try flying a little more straight and level. Really kicking that rudder over a lot and wobbling. Alright, alright, alright. Lead plane just dropped. We just dropped. So 3 torpedoes are out. I'm going to assume we will not hit the enemy just because the Mark 13 sucks. And unless we had aircraft coming in from the other side, which I suppose is possible. Well, one of them ditched. I'm gonna guess these fish are gonna be avoided. Although I don't know why is this guy trailing oil? Was he already damaged? Is there a chance the B-26 has damaged this guy? It looks like he's trailing oil. Doesn't look particularly low in the water. I don't see any signs of damage along this side of the hull. He does not look like he's moving very fast. I don't see any signs of damage on this side of the hull. But one of those fish might hit. Right on the bow, maybe? Right on the meatball? Oh no, was it a dud? Aww. Boom! One hit right on the meatball. Good job, Avengers. Hell yeah. There's no damage, as far as I can tell. But it definitely was a hit. Oh, there's definitely damage below the waterline here. You can see the hole. I don't know that one torpedo will be enough to sink it. What about on the other side? Any sign? The lighting on this side is much harder to see. Her rudder, I don't know if, I assume the game has its Props spin if it's working. She must have taken damage from the B-26s too. That's a lucky break. We didn't have any damage from the first time I played this. At the very least, a torpedo into her. She is very low in the water. I don't think she'll sink that fast, but she might be going under. I can't tell. I was fooled last time where the bow was real low and she kind of just stayed like that for the whole thing. She's not moving much at the very least. If this bow and front here dips below, I think she'll sink, but where are we at right now with incoming aircraft? All right, we got more aircraft coming this way. I don't know why my fighters... Why are these guys not... Are these guys engaging? Are they engaging my nav strike? No, not that one. Air. Something just exploded. Oh yeah, okay. So my Wildcats are engaging the enemy. So my escorts, I guess, are doing a good job. I mean, these guys are not the scramble, but they are... I mean, they're not fighting off the cap, which is unfortunate, because it's like, well, then sending these guys out was pointless. But they might at least eat into the enemy fighter escorts on the raid that are coming toward my, my planes and chew through them. Thank you for the follow, test person. You seem like a real live human being and not a bot. And Sky Glitcher. Hopefully the enemy escorts don't attack my own planes. Alright. What about these guys? Where are they at? I don't have much faith in my marine dive bombers to hit a moving target, but... Oh, these are the returning aircraft. Okay, never mind. From Midway. Where are they shooting at? Do we have another raid inbound? All right, this is a different carrier. She's also making good speed. Oh, they're probably the 17s, right? There we go. Enemy carriers are below us. I want to look at the enemy. The problem is I can't actually tell. Oh, bomb bay door is open. Bombs away! Alright, earlier flight missed by a mile. Don't worry, I'm sure they'll have celebratory beers and tell their, tell the folks at the officers club that they smashed the Japanese carriers and sank them all. was hitting nothing. Okay. Where are the other carriers? I hate that I can't, like... spot what I'm looking... Where are the other carriers? She seems low in the water. I'm sure this is good television to... Definitely screws are moving on her, though. So the other carrier is dead in the water, was dead in the water. She could just be low because she's turning hard. All right, where are we at for our scrambles? Are they flying out to go meet these guys yet? Why are they sticking on the carrier? I want you to go intercept the enemy fighters. I don't want you to stay close. So Yorktown's... the enemy is up here. We're further south, but I guess we're just about to engage the enemy with Yorktown's fighters. But if Yorktown's fighters are fighting by themselves, they're in trouble. There's the friendlies below me. Where are the enemy? Up ahead? Right, no one's to the IP yet. For my nav strike. The space bar, this view is kind of, I guess you can zoom out. Is anyone going to engage these guys? You're just going to, why are they still reported as unknown, by the way? Shouldn't they be red by now? Wouldn't it be kind of clear these guys are not friendlies? Well, those are the dive bombers. Like, where are you guys flying to and why? You're flying... Well, no, you're flying toward the enemy. Okay, so these guys are going to come try and hit me. We'll take a look at that in a sec. All right, so tactical view, we've got Soryu, Akagi. Was Akagi the one we thought we hit? Or was that Hiryu, Kaga? Kaga seems to be, I think, the one who was damaged. She seems to be dead in the water. And settling. Her bow is real low. Did she repair her engines? Not by the looks of it. So she's badly damaged. No shit. Very close, very low. That's bad news, I would think. Presumably that means they are torpedo bombing. Already in... They got right past my scramble. The guys didn't even engage them. For fuck's sake. Yorktown's done. These torpedo bombers are heading for the deck. Oh, they already dropped. God. I got my fighters up and they didn't even get vectored in? Sorry, Yorktown. That's rough. Welcome to the 1942 U.S. experience. I'm not worried about it being a single torpedo. I'm worried about, what, 30 or 40 torpedo bombers all dropping on me? It's because they're like flying right over the flight deck. Alright, these fish dropped from behind shouldn't hit. Unless we turn into them like a fool. Which, oh, well, there's one directly behind us. We might be screwed either way. We're trying to thread the needle. Oh, we got hit right on the props. That one might hit us coming in on the side. It's hard to tell. Another hit. That's two fish toward the stern.
Enemy bomber down in flames. Enemy torpedo plane on attack run to port. Closing in.
More? A third torpedo. All we got to do is cut off the back of the ship and we're fine. Everything's been to the rear. Oh, by the way, I don't think the dive bombers have dropped yet either. Are those more coming in? Jesus Christ. Hey, we got one. There's another. There's two. We're pretty low in the water back here. That does not look good. The name of the ship is almost submerged. A fourth torpedo hit, and there's a dive bomber bomb. A whole bunch of dive bomber bombs are straddling us. 3 hits, 4 hits. The game's getting a little laggy. It's like, you're screwed is what it's like. God damn, another hit. Another hit. Are these Orlicons? Did they have Orlicons at this stage, or were they still using the 1.1 inch pieces of trash? So, I don't think Yorktown's gonna make it, guys. Just guessing. But he's dead, Jim. He's dead. That's a lot of damage and real fast. Damage control on Yorktown. Propulsion gone. Steering almost gone. Jammed. Propulsion 0%. Steering is jammed. Fire is heavy. Damage is critical. Flooding is not light. Bullshit. You're in the process of sinking. She's going down, boys. That would have just flooded her flight deck. Hey, but don't worry, the ammo is good. Oh, man. All right, what are our aircraft doing? I don't want to miss Yorktown sinking. She's definitely going to sink, and fast. This would be a very deadly sinking because there is not, frankly, time for anyone to abandon ship when it... I mean, it's literally going to sink in like less than 5 minutes. Like, look at this. She's... The flight deck is flooded. At least her radar got off. We'll have nowhere to land. I hope we at least shoot these guys up on the way out so they can't launch another effective strike. I suppose this is only half their air wing, too. There's Yorktown below her. I hope they name a destroyer after Fletcher. This might have been a more glorious way out for him if he didn't survive, you know? He kind of gets... Fletcher's kind of the black sheep or the forgotten figure in Midway. Spruance sort of overshadows him, and then he leads a lot of the carrier actions in the Solomons. You know, whether you agree with him or not, he was probably the most consequential carrier commander for the Americans. You know, early. One of the dive bombers just went down in the war, I think. I don't know. You could disagree. I hope they all went for Yorktown and nobody broke in on... Doesn't look like anybody made it to Task Force 16, so... I think Task Force 16 is avoiding a scrutiny. The other dive bomber attack out of Midway appears to have gotten completely obliterated. Oh, wait, no, these are the Wildcats. What am I talking about? That's the scramble. Here's the nav strike. Are they heading home? I think they already dropped. No, they didn't. Are they still headed home? Did they not find the enemy? Oh, no, they're heading north. All right. My own dive bomber's getting close, too. Did the Task Force 16 scrambles ever make it up there? They did. Okay. So their fighters... All right. So we ended up doing something. Now, the downside is the enemy may launch a second strike against us. Although maybe their flight deck will be crammed with spotting aircraft. That could be nice. As our raid comes in. Yorktown is gone. I don't see her, so she appears to be sunk. She's back here. She's not below the waves, but she's going under, boys. Poor Yorktown. Going out with glory. Your ass will hit the bottom of the ocean floor first. Landing on your butt. Could be worse. I wonder what kind of structural strength, like, would you snap with the weight at this point? This feels like it more of a... There's a not physics. I don't think that ship would not have ripped in two by this point. Just 90-degree angle with half the ship still out of the water. Well, now you're just going to bob like a top. All right, well. Did they debrief already? You gotta be shitting me. No, they're flying. Why does it say debriefing? These guys are literally in the midst of flying. I was gonna be pissed. I was gonna be like, what are you guys doing while my boys are dying? But no. You're going for the enemy aircraft. You're doing your duty. I actually got pretty good visibility at this point. Cloud cover's not too bad. We're coming up on the enemy fleet for what it's worth. You can see they're up this a ways. We've got our flights coming in. Did the carrier that was damaged sink? I only see 3 on the board. She was low in the water. I'm going to go on the assumption that we sank her. Someone just gets shot down there? I only see 3 enemy ships. 3 enemy carriers. No, wait, maybe there's 2... 3. Large unidentified warship. Is this the dead in the water one? I really hope we don't spend all our bombs on the dead in the water enemy carrier. Propellers are going. They repaired her propulsion, but this is the one we put the torpedo into. She's moving a little. I hope some of my planes don't attack her and that they work their way toward the Akagi and Soryu and Hiryu. Uh-oh. They're probably recovering aircraft now, right? All right, we got some nice flights coming in this way. Okay, we're shooting up these. I think we're shooting up this force here pretty good. I'm confused. Do we lose the Yorktown's aircraft? Like, there should still be here, right? Do they still... I'm assuming they still are here. I'm assuming they still exist. I hear them. They just can't... They're not in the air contacts here with the carrier sunk. Which is strange. TF-17 search planes, so I guess because the cruisers are still exist. But I can't... I'm assuming they'll still bomb. I guess we'll find out. Where's the damaged ship? Is she further back? Yeah, okay. So actually, our planes will hit the undamaged ships first. So they should hit the guys who aren't hurt yet. What are you talking about, Printer Rank? We've lost Yorktown sunk. We badly damaged Kaga. And we now have our Midway bombers coming in, our Midway dive bombers coming in simultaneously to the first of 3 carrier air wings toward the carrier group. These are the Marines over here. Probably going to line up against Akagi. We had a attack of 80 aircraft hit our carrier shortly after they got their raids off. All of the enemy aircraft focused in on Yorktown. Yorktown took 4 or 5 torpedoes, at least half a dozen bombs, and she sank very rapidly. We're diving on something. This is a very shallow dive. I don't know if that's why the Marines suck in this game, but this seems like a very shallow dive for a dive bomber. Are you really lining up? You're not lining up on that battleship. No, you're way too high still. They're in the clouds. Still, that's a very shallow bomb. One of them took some flak and is burning. Maybe that's why they're less accurate. Bombs way short, nowhere close. One bomb kinda sorta close. From the first group of planes that went in. These are gonna be long. You gotta be dropping now. On this thing, either you need a steeper angle or you need to have dropped a few seconds ago. Those will all go long. Oh my god, they got 2 hits, 3 hits! I was just lambasting the Marines for sucking. I think only one of those was a 1,000-pounder. I think some of those were 100-pounders, because only one real fire burning, but I'm stunned they got a hit. This is very ahistorical this time around. Also, they're trying to drop on this other carrier, so it looks like they split their targets, I think. Or were those the Yorktown aircraft? Did they get there already? I think these are the Yorktowns. Strike. No hits here, doesn't look like. I can't, the problem is I can't follow the Yorktown raids. Because Yorktown was sunk. So one really big fire, 1,000-pounder. I assume a flight deck may be out of action too, so that may cause some ditching to occur. Are there torpedo bombers down here? Yeah, so it looks like she took what I'm assuming are 100-pounders here and here, and then the 1,000-pounder where the fire's going. I think more dive bombers are dropping. These might be Yorktown. Maybe another squadron from Yorktown hitting. Another hit just off the stern of the ship. Another 1,000-pounder, a big boom. Another hit near the meatball. That's 3,000-pounders into... Is this a Kagi? There's also a torpedo here heading way ahead of her. Well, maybe actually it'll hit her. I think it went under her. Looks like it went under. Yeah. Another one. No, that's just a flak tracer. Okay, well, certainly at least 2 enemy carriers are badly damaged. I think one of them may still have an active flight deck because the deck wasn't hit. It was a torpedo below deck, but at least one of the enemy carriers' flight decks is out of action, and there appears to be a major fire on her interior. This one is a Kagi. Kaga is who was crippled by the torpedo earlier. We've got our other 2 carriers inbound. There's more aircraft here. I don't know who... I'm guessing that's the Marines on their way back home. Alright, so 1 torpedo or 1 bomb hit here. So both of these aircraft carriers have bomb hits. So actually 2 flight decks down, probably, at least for the moment. So that would kind of even the odds at 3-3, although if these guys can't land, they may lose 40 aircraft because they can't land. More bomb hits. Right amidships. 2 bomb hits. 3 bomb hits. Are we still not in? So this is for... Have we really not, like... I don't know who's getting all these hits. Because these guys haven't dropped yet. We had 30 coming in from Midway, and then we had the... It seems like the Yorktown's airstrike really got its revenge. Enterprise and Hornet haven't hit yet, I don't think. Unless it's one of the other flights that may be further ahead. No, it doesn't look like any of these guys have hit yet. Believe me, I am not complaining. The Marines really added a punch between the Avenger getting a torpedo hit, the Marine dive bombers getting at least 1, maybe 2 hits, and then Yorktown doing its thing, even though it was already dead. I mean, Akagi is probably not... I don't know if she'll sink, but she's certainly in trouble. Soryu and Hiryu are sort of probably the ones that are going to get attacked. Kaga's in the rear, a little bit more safe, although she took a torpedo already, and Akagi's getting hit hard. All right, I think we're going to focus in on the Soryu is my guess. Maybe some flights will peel off and go for the Hiryu. So the enemy may not get another strike off if we do real damage here. Doesn't seem to be much cap left either. Galor, an evil commie dictator, thank you for the follows. Audio, thank you for the sub. I know I'm 20 minutes late on that. Monolith, thank you for the sub also. That was an hour ago. Okay. So this should be the lead flight. We should be... I don't know who you're trying to torpedo right now, but... What are you dropping on? Those are prayers. Alright, you've got a better chance of hitting something at this range. This seems like maybe too far. You're leading too much if this is your target right here. I don't know what you're dropping on. Those are very, very advanced. You're way out ahead. Alright, here we go. This carrier does not look damaged. Boom! One hit. Oh, God. That was a horrible camera angle. I couldn't see anything once the plane pulled up. So they were starting to spot. Our forces seem to have disengaged. So we've definitely crippled the enemy at this point. I think that means the enemy is withdrawing. So their carrier's getting straddled. Whole bunch of bombs all over. I wonder if she took a torpedo hit, or if she's just maneuvering. She's low in the water. There, we still got another carrier worth. This guy's ablaze. Ablaze and low in the water. Probably not sinking quite yet, but is it 2 carriers ablaze? 3 carriers ablaze? 3 carriers currently have fires. And one of them previously took a torpedo hit. This guy is really low in the water. Listing pretty badly. Look at all the red paint you can see there exposed. You can see all the flak ahead of us. That's where we're headed, boys. Alright, that nav strike's done. You guys still are high up. So this flight's coming in a little bit further back. Alright, the enemy's kind of fragmenting too. They've got, see, the 3 carriers here, and then the Kaga, which is back here, which was badly damaged, but still floating. And also now underway. She took a torpedo forward, and her... I can't go below the water? Yeah, her rudders are, not her rudders, her propellers are running again. One more carrier to go. And then obviously we'll have to do some restrikes. So we did lose the Yorktown. It's historical. A little bit of a different sort of pattern to this engagement. Probably another minute or two before anything shows up. Oh shit, did ads just trigger? What the fuck? Well, I just won't accelerate time. We're not diving yet. It should only be 30 seconds if or if Twitch decided to throw them in there. I don't usually run auto ads. I don't really know what happened. It just says ads are running. That's weird. Typically don't run mid-roll unless I step away from the PC. Yorktown is gone. Are you sure, Turbo? Yes, we're sure. Alright, planes are turning. They're turning in for the attack. Absolute chaos in the formation. We saw her go under. Unless somehow a ship could become a top. Like a bobber in the ocean and not go under. Actually, I may have... Now, I have a beer in my hand. I think I might have bumped my Elgato. And that may be... I don't usually run ads mid-stream, so I apologize for that. But I may have accidentally bumped it with my... Thankfully, it didn't cut the stream off. That would have been bad. If I hit the wrong button. I'm drinking a non-alcoholic Heineken. Not bad for an NA beer. Yorktown didn't sink. She's just below the water. What are we all flying toward anyway? I don't even see anything. Alright, So it looks like we're probably going to go for Soryu would be my guess. That seems to be the direction we're angling toward. I suppose we could go for... No, we're not going to go for Tone. We're not going to go for a cruiser. Akagi's back here too, but... What are we flying toward? All right. Looks like we may be making a turn in. Hiryu's over here. Maybe we're angling in toward Hiryu. Or... Oh, that's Congo. Why is the battleship got the flat top symbol? Or does that just mean a capital ship? I don't know. Or we may be buying time for the torpedo bombers to get low. That would seem to be the case. Be cool if we could get a torpedo hit. I don't know if she's maybe not moving very much. It seems like we're pretty much lined up straight on her. We've got torpedo bombers on each side. They're dropping. We're dropping. The problem is the torpedoes are so slow. I don't really want to miss the dive bomber attack because of the torpedoes, but I would like to see if any torpedoes hit home. We'll wait to see if any of these guys switch over to bombing on the attack. Here comes one of the fish. We may miss the dive bombers, but hopefully we see an explosion amidships. No! A dud! Well, that's lame. Yeah. Maybe the Yorktown is like that South Park skit, or like the Black Knight, you know. It's just a flesh wound. You're on the bottom of the ocean. This guy doesn't have any fires going. There's 2 carriers here with no fires. You can see the difference, but by the way, the Marines were much more of a glide bomb. This is a dive bomb. You can see we're coming in real angled over. This deck is already pockmarked with shell craters or bomb craters. Not much room to miss right to left, but she's a long target. Get some hits, boys. Ugh. Come on. There we go. One amidships right there. Good hit, good hit. Right on the meatball, or, well, I guess there's no meatball on this one, but right on the circle where the meatball would be. So 2 good bomb. Well, only no fires though? What's up with that? Oh, there's a fire kicking off. Two good fires. Maybe they took a little while to get going. Ring round the rosy. Ah. Certainly good cinema if you're better with camera work than I am. Someone was complaining on YouTube the other day. It's like, your camera work is giving me motion sickness. Yes. Yes, it is not the best. You are low in the water, sir. Look at the front of that ship. You got it. There's definitely a hole in the near the bow. Which one is this? Hear you? Where are the other? Alright, these guys are about to bomb. They're gonna bomb Akagi. You see the first flight of them are going down through the clouds. We'll see how they do as we go in. The CGI is as good as the Midway ones. Was the Midway movie? Which Midway movie? 1970, when they had stock footage of Iowas firing broadsides during the Japanese air attacks? Or the 2019 one or whatever, when they were, you know, not very good. I mean, whatever. I like the 1971. I'm a sucker for anything war-related with Henry Fonda in it. He plays Nimitz in 2 movies, actually. Technically, just Sync Pack 2 in Harm's Way, but he is Midway in both, or he's Nimitz in both of those movies. Okay. Couple more hits. I think she is a goner, I would think. I don't know. What do I know? I'm always wrong. She's certainly dead in the water. May have to launch a second strike. We've already won. I don't think the enemy's getting another air attack off any of these decks. Maybe Kaga? She's the only one I didn't see any craters in yet. The 2019 one. What actions? Isn't there one where, like, did a guy really... I know he's based on a historical figure, but are you talking about the guy who, like, runs into the cockpit of the plane on the deck and shoots down an enemy aircraft? There's something crazy happens. Are your rudders going? Or not rudders. You're dead in the water. Looks like there's 2 waterline hits in the rear of the ship. And then there's another, I don't think these are all torpedoes, but there's another below the waterline on the other side. So 3 below waterline hits. Fire's burning out of control. You better sink, you bastard. Why is my mouse not showing up here? Oh, because I was in... Alright, so Akagi's in trouble. I think Hiryu's in trouble too. Oh yeah. Look at how low this guy is in the water. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I thought one of the ships was sinking in my last video. Barricades are up. I don't know if they're trying to retrieve aircraft right now. Don't know how you'd land through that maelstrom. The 7 Yamatos fly with the fleet. Hey Hauser, if you're still in the chat, anyone know how many Japanese airmen were rescued? I think Midway is often portrayed as like, and the pride of the Japanese air arm was destroyed, but like, how many of the actual crews survived? Someone's ingressing. The music just changed. That happens when attacks are underway. Not these guys. Not sure. Alright, Akagi's burning. Here are you. Kaga. How is Kaga doing? Are they taking off aircraft, maybe? She's the only one who doesn't have a crater in her flight deck, so maybe she could launch something. She's low in the water. She took a torpedo hit, but I think the flooding is under control. The other guys' carrier decks are all pockmarked to hell. But did the aircraft that returned after ditching have to, like... Did their crews get largely picked up? I don't know if speed is relevant. Like, in theory, the game says, oh, you have to turn into the wind. But I don't actually know how much that matters. Stories engaging enemy aircraft. Okay. I think that's just like a snooper, maybe, but they spotted TF-17. Or 16? It says TF-17. TF-17's already been hit. Gotcha. Yeah, I wasn't really worried about the crew. I was more just curious about the airmen. Has anyone ever looked, maybe Shadow Sword mentions it, I don't know, but has anybody looked into, like, personnel losses amongst the actual pilots? I'm guessing they have. Feels like something you would do. All right, so there's no air raids right now. Our planes are returning to base. It's going to be a little while before we can launch another strike, so I just think we'll focus in on the enemy ships and see if any of them sink. These guys are still burning. Astoria, enemy air attack over. What attacked us? Don't look like you took any damage. Enterprise and Hornet are already retrieving their scrambles. It'd be nice if some of them could return to... Some of the fighters from Yorktown could return to Enterprise or Hornet. I don't know if they allow you to divert if your aircraft is damaged. Obviously, I don't think we lost too many aircraft in those raids. I don't know how much actual space we would have on the ship. Nobody lost in the first squadron. Not a single plane lost in the first squadron. Not a single plane lost in the second squadron. Jesus. Alright, we lost one torpedo bomber in the first raid. So in theory you could fit one. I think our fighters lost. Nobody in that one. Oh, I think the fighters on Yorktown lost took the brunt of the damage. Jesus Christ. I mean, yes, we lost a carrier worth of aviation, that's rough, but that entire raid we lost like one plane in the actual attacking force. How does it say 48 aircraft and this one says 57? What was the difference? They had to have lost 9 or so aircraft. Oh, Flaherty was shot down, so that's 1 in the second. Two fighters in that other raid, 3 fighters, 3 fighters. Okay, so the fighter aircraft in this second raid lost heavily. 8 fighters lost, 9 fighters lost. So, in theory, there'd be room for a portion of Yorktown's air group. 1943 content, Adam, I assume would be Volume 2. Volume 1 is 42. And they've labeled it as Volume 1. Here's the question. Do our torpedo bombers actually have enough fuel to get back to base and land? Let's hope so. Otherwise, we might have a lot more empty berths. They even know where to go? I would assume it's years. Even if they don't change core gameplay mechanics, they've got 26 scenarios to work through in the base game. My fleet is much further south now because of all the time spent taking off. Oh. Hope these guys make it back to base. Be low on fuel. No, I've always heard the Solomon, and they also, like, the Japanese put a bunch of their naval aviation ashore for the Solomon's campaigns, which was not helpful. Okay. Are any of these guys gonna make it to the frickin' base? I hope you make it back to base. I hope you do as well. But if you don't, I don't know. It's really a shame. Are they diverting south at least? It would appear so. I don't know if you have enough fuel to get there. I guess we'll find out. I also don't really know if fuel running out is... I actually have heard it is. Fuel running out is a thing, because someone was posting in the YouTube comments about how their recon flights regularly ran out of fuel, which I have not seen as an issue. I feel like usually it protects me against that with its radius, but they were acting like if you don't manually adjust the flights, they all crash, which I have not seen. Not saying it hasn't happened, certainly could be a bug, but I haven't seen it. Alright, Devastators, go land! So Yorktown selected down there. There's the carriers. So go get in the pattern. Get your ass on deck. Are you gonna land? Nope. I mean, some folks are landing. I don't know who. I think, yeah, this guy's gonna land. Yay! He made it back. I don't know. I'm assuming aircraft fuel is individually monitored if it was saying that you're out of fuel at a certain time. In any event. It's also possible we would just have a lot more fuel because the carrier has been heading further west, basically consistently for the last hour plus. I guess it'd be easy to tell if any of Yorktown's planes make it back, because originally the two carriers in Task Force 16 had 145 aircraft, I believe it was. Thank you for the follow, Clee. And if that number changed or went up, that would indicate a change there. So, fleet information. Task Force 16, 133 aircraft. So far we're down 12. No aircraft in TF-17. What does transfer mean? Is it like Alright, everybody, this is where we're going to wrap up. This is basically where we ended the stream. We lost the Yorktown, unfortunately, but we've done considerable damage to the Japanese fleet, and I think we got out ahead, because the two other carriers of ours didn't suffer any damage. We'll see what the follow-on strikes look like in the next video, but until the next video, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm out.